Beautiful children of God, how are you doing this morning? It's a beautiful, wonderful day. Guys, I am so excited for this week's devotionals. Yesterday was just an amazing devotional. Today is just as exciting, and today's is just as awesome because I'm smiling as I'm looking at these verses. We're in Exodus 3. Now, I'm focusing just on verse 11 and verse 12. I actually wanted to do more, then the Holy Spirit said, no, stop. Focus on these two verses. Because once you focus on these two verses, you know where we are going. I don't think I have to spend so much detail in explaining it, because you will see exactly what is happening. And this is just one of those messages that today, this message is for you, because the Lord has put something on your heart and He's telling you to do something. It might be more than one thing. And this is the encouragement you need. You see, today is just encouraging you. And I want you to take these verses, go read it. I'm going to read it out now. It's Exodus 3, verse 11 and verse 12. But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you'll worship God on this mountain." He's on Mount Sinai. He's at the back of Mount Sinai. And God speaks to him, appears in the burning bush and speaks to him. And then he still says, "Lord, but who am I?" How many times do we feel that we don't feel qualified enough, or we don't feel like we can make a difference? We think, no, other people can. I'm not good enough for this. But God sent Moses, because Moses, think about it. Moses wasn't even supposed to be there. He was supposed to die when he was before he was 2 years old, because there was an interdict by the Pharaoh to kill all Hebrew males before the age of 2. They all had to die because they felt threatened. He's got miracle after miracle, testimony after testimony. Moses is still here, and God calls him and says, "I am sending you, Moses." And then he still says, "But Lord, who am I?" How many times do we say that, "Lord, who am I?" I'm not going to tell you my full testimony of how I started when I studied in that. But first of all, I didn't have a university exemption. So I first had to do a bridging course. I never knew you could do a bridging course. I thought, okay, I never had varsity exemption. There's no ways I can go to varsity, and we had to go study at the varsity. And the Lord opened those doors. There was a bridging course. Yes, it's a year-long extra that you have to do. Great stuff. Done it. And then, okay, Lord, but finances are not there. Time is not there. I could list so many things upon each other. One upon each other. And I said, but Lord, look at my past. Who am I? How can I study theology? I'm by far not the right person. Just go look at my life. Go look at my life before I got saved. It is, I look at it and I was like, okay, Lord, if you can call me and take me through this journey, you can do it with anyone. And that is the motivation that I want to leave it with you today. Because regardless of everything before me and how impossible it seemed, every single door was ticked, because I stood up and I said, okay, Lord, you make this happen. Once you don't make this happen, then I know I shouldn't be following this course. I shouldn't be following this. And a couple of years later, got my degree, and 2 years later, I got my honors degree, which I never thought was possible. For a child who never got university exemption in matric, for a child who was just passing by like 50%, I barely passed. I really barely passed. And then the motivation I want to give you today is, don't take me as I want to brag, but come my varsity results, I never got distinctions at school. If I get 50%, 60% to me is a distinction. My varsity results, I had a lot more distinctions than what I had in 4 years than what I had over in my entire school career. That's from grade 1 all the way to matric. See, but the Lord called me, and I had to stand up and say, okay, Lord, I'm going to trust you. You make the way. I don't know how, but you make the way. Whatever God's put on your heart today, know that He will make the way, because He equips you. He gives you His resources. A lot of times we think we have to have all the resources before we start. No, He blesses you with the resources as you go on. And I can spend hours on this, on my testimony. But we don't have time for that now. I hope this message inspires you. I hope this message encourages you. And just send it out to other people, because other people need to hear the exact same thing, because God has called them for something. Let them go do it. Let them not wonder. Let them go do it and see how God provides, and see the miracles and the testimonies that come out of this. Blessings, guys.